Super Lucky's Tale was created by Playful Studios and published by Microsoft Studios on the Xbox One X in November of 2017. Stick around to the end of this review to hear 5 things I did and didn't like about this game. I played New Super Lucky's Tale on an Xbox One X with a 27-inch 4K HDR monitor and Turtle Beach Stealth 600 headphones. This version is an expanded version, first released on Nintendo Switch in November of 2019 and brought to Xbox One in August of 2020. At its heart, this game is a 3D platformer after such classics as Super Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. There are levels that break from this and follow other styles such as 2D platforming, puzzles, and even a few where you essentially guide a marble around a moving table. The game uses a clean cartoon style which will fit greatly with a younger audience, which may be the target for this game. The colors are bright and textures are clean and smooth. The game looked great at 4K, and on occasion I found myself simply enjoying the view. The soundtrack is not annoying, but also nothing to write home about. It fades back at times, and this dynamic volume helps it remain bearable. The sound effects are relevant to the action at all times. The game even made use of positional audio, which was a nice added touch. These came together to provide a soundscape which definitely enhanced the gameplay experience. This game is regularly priced at $40, and while it's on Gamepass, you can get it for $4 off. There's no DLC, and no expansions were listed on the Xbox store. Speaking of Game Pass, as of the time of this review, this game is on a weekly quest for 50 points. To get the points, we needed to get 300 coins. I hit 300 about 13 minutes in from the start of the game, in the middle of a level. I'd already gained an achievement, so this is not an achievement-safe quest. The quest wasn't marked completed until about 20 minutes in, after I'd completed the first level. Overall, it was an extremely easy quest to get through standard gameplay. If you want to keep hearing about quest games in time to decide if you'll go for the quest or not, be sure you subscribe to the channel. More subscribers means I can dedicate more time to getting these reviews out in a timely manner, and time matters for these quests. There is a basic story in this game. It was introduced in a beautifully rendered 3-minute video. Interestingly, the main driver seems to be collecting pages of a book, the same as the last 3D platformer I reviewed, Banjo-Kazooie. You play as a character, you interact with characters throughout the game. Some of those interactions are amusing, but none of them allow you any agency. That said, as with all games like this, the story is basically a backdrop and not overly important to the gameplay experience. The gameplay loop is pretty standard for a 3D platformer. Enter a level, get enough coins on the way out, solve any puzzles, and beat any boss or mini-boss characters along the way. Each level has a set of collectibles and a secret, so if it's missed the first time around, there's a reason to come back and play again. Other than achievements or completionism, there's not a gameplay reason to come back to this game after you beat it. If you just like playing platformers, you may come back to it though. There isn't a lot to dislike about this game. It does have a bit of a long loading time, and that can be a pain to wait for. And as nitpicky as this is, I read much faster than the text shows up, but of course if you just hit a button it brings the full line of text into view. There is no difficulty setting, so if you want more of a challenge, then you'll have to look elsewhere. Based on how long it's taken me to play in this game so far, I think it's going to be a short game. If you're into long gameplay, this could be a problem. Finally, and honestly, writing this section of the review has taken longer than the entire rest of the review put together, some of the game levels have almost been too easy. I'm not a platformer fan, and don't like difficult platformers. See my review of Levelhead for more on that. Some of these, though, they were just too easy. The game is very likable. The graphics for one, it is beautiful on the 4K HDR monitor. I could play it there all day. Surprisingly, the story works very well. The character interactions and storytelling are fun and filled with humor. Usually games with a throwaway story like this don't try to keep it going, but in this case it's kept going and it's working. The overall difficulty in the game is lower than I expected, and I like that. I'm not great at platformers and was worried I'd be struggling to play enough for a review. That's the overall difficulty level, by the way. I still think a few of the areas are just too easy. The checkpoints and save systems are nicely done, allowing you to stop playing at basically any time and get back into the game without losing significant progress. And finally, I think for me this game really hit the nostalgia nerve. The gameplay was immediately recognizable whether it was in the 3D section or 2D section, and I definitely felt a connection to younger me while I was playing. Overall, I'd put this game as a solid play on Game Pass. I feel the $40 price tag is a bit high for the amount of gameplay I expect to get. $20 would be a no-brainer, and $30 would be a solid buy as well. Right now, I wouldn't buy this unless it hit a good sale. If you are a huge platformer fan though, the value may be there for you. If you enjoy this review style, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so YouTube gives you more of these. If you don't enjoy it, leave me a comment telling me why. I'm always looking for ideas to improve this content. And finally, make sure to check back later for reviews of F1 2019 and Human Fall Flat.